Now, showing handmade products on Instagram. You want to showcase your process and behind the scenes. But remember here, the key with this, I see a lot of shops making this mistake. You want to attract the end user and not the person who wants to DIY this for themselves. So if you start to get messages from people asking where you get your supplies, then it is a big sign that you might be getting the DIY person and not the end user or customer. So before, during, and after snapshots are really great. You want the transformation to seem like magical, right? You want to show the magic of the transformation and not the how-to steps of the transformation. You want to have the idea, it's more like waving a wand and then poof, here's the result. Like that was magic, right? You don't want to show, okay, first you don't want to show the actual steps as if you are teaching someone how to do it themselves. So make yourself a promise. Make a promise to yourself right now to never ship something without sharing it on Instagram first, okay? That's a missed opportunity, right? That's value that you're leaving on the table, right? That's money left on the table. It's free marketing, free advertising. Like, don't ship anything without sharing it on Instagram first. Huge bonus if you are willing to show yourself holding the item or packaging the item, because people buy from people. You don't need to show your face even. You could cut your face off, do it from like the neck down or just your hands. Like it still makes it more personable and people want to see that it's not drop shipped from Alibaba. So showing your hands, doing something to the product, holding the product, doing something with it, moving it, packaging it, it really gives customers the feeling of, okay, yeah, this is a safe place to buy from. I'm not just going to get something that when I open it, it's going to be wrapped in cellophane and it's going to say like made in China with a big sticker on the front, right? Because that's what they're afraid of. So if you show your hands holding the product, it's going to be really, really reassuring. So if you are just altering an item to make it fit into the handmade category, remember that is a way to play in the handmade category, just do a small alteration, then we want to highlight your process or the materials that you use when altering it. So we're focusing in on the handmade aspect of this item. So if it's as simple as maybe you just paint something a different color, then showcase and focus on all of your paint options when you're sharing this on Instagram. You could also focus on showcasing the variety of lifestyle situations that the item is used for. So gifting, displayed in a home, being worn by a person, being set on a shelf, being folded up carefully, maybe kids playing with it. You want to make it all appear more handmade than it actually is. So it's about creating perception. So you have to do a little more work when you are just altering a small part of something to make it handmade. But this is also going to cover yourself. You know what I mean? If Etsy comes to you and says, wait a minute, like this looks a lot like something from Alibaba or AliExpress. So this is going to show you actually altering it. You're saying, no, look, here are my hands, here I am, here are all my paints. This is how I do it. This is my process, right? This is the artistry side of it. So it's your proof, you're covering yourself, and it's going to ensure just that your business is not ever going to be in question. So how to use Instagram to highlight your product launches. So you're going to hype it up beforehand. You're going to show your face if you're comfortable doing that. And you're going to talk about how you're working on something new and exciting. You can also put out a poll on Instagram stories or request feedback in the stories about what colors your followers would like to see. You can have them vote on color options, on pattern options, or you could do a little design face-off to see which they like better. Maybe you sell different sizes of something. Okay, what do you like the 20 ounce? Do you like 24 ounce? Do you like 8 ounce? Like you can do a design face-off to see what their preferences are. Do you like the pink vinyl or do you like this new purple vinyl? Like what is your favorite color? This is a great way to get customers to interact with you and also to get just data on what your ideal profitable customer actually wants. So honestly, follow up with anyone who votes on your polls or gives you any feedback, and ask, just if you feel like doing some market research, just ask them before investing time or money in a new design. Just ask them a question. Send them 2 photos of 2 things you were considering. See what people think. Don't be afraid of it, because it's much better to get this information before you invest any time or money in something, and it will save you both time and money. Okay, so maybe you're wanting to test out the waters before actually creating something new, whether that be digital download, print on demand, handmade, supply, you want to test the waters to see if it's worth the squeeze, right? If the juice is worth the squeeze. So what I would recommend doing, and what I've done, is you find some photos of this or a similar item, right? You can look on Google Images, you can look at other Instagram accounts, you can look on Pinterest, find some similar photos of that item and share the photos, and then ask on your Instagram if anyone would like to see you carry this in your shop. Now, I recommend doing this on stories, because if you put it in your feed, it might look like you're stealing other people's photos, right? You just want to share it on stories and say, hey, I saw this. Would anyone like to see, would anyone be interested if I could offer this or something similar? And you are now inviting feedback and opinions. This is really, really good, because this shows customers that you are open to requests and ideas. It shows them that you are coming up with new ideas of your own and you're inviting their feedback. This is also another way that I get custom order requests that eventually become power listings for me and make me the market leader. So another way to use Instagram to highlight product launches is doing a countdown. So there's a little countdown sticker, it's called, that you can use in Instagram stories, and you look up at the top, you just type in countdown and you put in the date or the time that it's launching, and it will do a little countdown for you. So obviously this becomes way more impactful as you get more followers. At first, it's going to feel like you are hyping up no one. It's going to feel like you are, talking to, your daughter and your mom or whoever is following your account, right? A lot of the time, your first followers are going to become your biggest fans, and showing them that you're willing to put in effort for them on social media, that goes a long way. So I recommend showcasing a product on video and photo when you launch it. So try to give a full picture of it, put your best foot forward to have the highest conversion. So excitement about it is going to be at a high on the day that you launch this. So you want to take advantage of that and make sure that your launch, photos, video, description really leaves customers without additional pre-purchase questions. So you want there to be no questions left unanswered in your photo, video, and description. You want to be really thorough so that they see it, they read it, they're ready to buy, and they're not confused about anything. So how to show behind the scenes. I know this can be intimidating. You're like, how much do I show? How little do I show? So number one rule is do not ever show the stores that you purchase your supplies from, or talk about the websites that you purchase your supplies from, especially if you are doing print on demand or any digital downloads. Do not talk about what companies you work for with print on demand or what design software you design in. This is going to lower the perceived barrier to entry. We do not want to do that. So we want to show the process of behind the scenes, but we still want to keep it very magical, right? So we're focusing more on the transformation than on the how-to guide style of videos and photos. So our behind the scenes are going to be more like, look at this transformation, not this is how I did this. So we are focusing more on the what than the how. So if there is any skill that you know that you are really good at and that it takes a while to learn, you want to showcase this when you're doing your behind the scenes, because now you are highlighting a high barrier to entry, and that's a good thing. You want to create the perception that there's a high barrier to entry to what you're doing. So packaging is a great thing to showcase as well. Customers love to see this. People love watching packaging videos. It shows your customer service, your VIP experience, and your high attention to detail. You also could show your computer screen doing a time lapse of your designing. This is really a good way to make it less how-to and much more magical, because people aren't able to follow the exact steps that you're taking, the exact clicks, what you're typing in, everything like that. So doing a time lapse where it's like a sped up video of you designing a new graphic or designing a template, that's a cool behind the scenes to show as well. Now, how to do Meet the Maker content. Every 50 to 100 followers, or every 20 static posts, I want you to have a little introduction post with a photo of you, your family, or something about your life. Now, these photos do not have to be recent. Just use whatever you feel confident in. This photo, have it be at least after the year 2000. Honestly, like I did one photo shoot, right? Every time I do a family photo shoot, I get some photos of myself alone just for the business. And boom, there you go. You can write off that photo shoot as a business expense. But anyway, so I get like 5 to 10 photos of myself in that family photo shoot session, and I just sprinkle these in throughout the year, right? It totally doesn't matter if they're all from the same photo shoot. If you look to some of the biggest influencers and see, wow, they seem like they're always having these professional photos, look closer, because you'll notice they're wearing the same thing in all these photos. They're just in different positions, maybe one zoomed in, one zoomed out. If they're the same photos, they're just repurposing every so often for these like introduction posts. So if you don't want to show your face, totally fine, completely fine, totally fine to do this from, the back angle, like side angle. You can make this a totally artistic shot. Maybe you're like standing on a hill or like on a cliff or something, looking out at the sunset, and the photo is taken like 20 feet behind you. So it's like this beautiful sunset, and then you are kind of like a smaller part of the photo. It's just from the back. So you're not, you don't feel like super exposed or anything. So this could make a really artistic shot. It's a great way to show up. And in this photo, with this photo, you're going to just include 5 fun facts about yourself or your business to be relatable. Maybe how you started, maybe just 5 fun facts about yourself, where you're located. People are super curious. They're so curious. So think about the customer that you want to sell to and include a couple of things that will make them think, oh, me too. Okay, so you want to be a little bit relatable here. So also with Meet the Maker content, you want to show up on stories to nurture your current customers. So the perception is that activity on your stories means activity in your business, because stories are a current live type of content, right? They are things that you are in the moment, right? They are showing that, yes, today she was on stories for her business, so she's working on her business today. That's what you want them to think. So I do recommend showing your face, but you do not have to. You could literally just point the camera at what you're looking at your screen, or at the work that you're working on, maybe something related to your products, your designs, even your to-do list. You guys, people love that stuff. maybe a project you're working on, just talk about that. Do not overthink it. Remember, we're not overthinking anything. What I love doing is just reading off my to-do list every day so that customers know what orders I'm working on. I would just call out their first names and they love it. Oftentimes, they'll also always respond to the story when I call them out. You're building up the hype for their order because you have told them that they should follow you for sneak peeks, and behind the scenes, this is you giving that value, right? This isn't their sneak peek yet, but calling out that, okay, I'm starting on Jennifer M's order today, or I'm working on the custom order for Nicholas. Like whatever it is, call them out. This really builds the hype. It's really good to create the perception on social media that you are busy with your business. So even if your business is not full-time, even if you are working a 9 to 5, you guys, it is a good thing for people to think that you are doing it more full-time than you actually are. So because if they don't think that your business is a priority to you, they are not as likely to purchase. If they think that you treat it casually, they might think that you're not as professional about it, that you're not as serious about it. When they want to invest their money with you to purchase what you're offering, that's a serious decision to them, right? They want to feel like you are just as serious about delivering on your end. So even if it's not full-time for you, create the perception that it's a little bit more full-time than it might actually be. And even if you're not getting a lot of sales, make it seem and feel like you're busy, you're moving, you're hustling, you're making stuff. That's what you got to do. You gotta look the part, feel the part, then you'll be the part, right? So you kind of have to fake it till you make it. So also with this Meet the Maker content, you want to show the real side of your life once in a while. So whether that's mom life, grandma life, wife life, girlfriend life, what you're cooking, husband life, where you're traveling to, what your kids are up to, what activities you're doing. Creating a brand and a business that has a cult-like following means that these customers are really invested in you and they're curious about you. Whether or not you believe it, you are at some level an influencer, right? So I recommend just at least once a week, just show something outside of your business, something. And that's really going to make you seem down to earth and relatable. Now, lastly, my favorite way to show up on stories when I really do not feel up to it and I do not feel like I have anything to say. I feel burned out. I feel uninspired. I could care less about opening Instagram. I don't even want to open it at all, but I know deep down I have to be consistent, right? This is what I do. This is my tip. Hold your coffee or whatever you're drinking in your hand and just go on stories and click the boomerang little setting and just do a boomerang stories where you just cheers the camera. So you're literally holding your camera in front of you and you just cheers, like just cheers your little cup or whatever you've got and smile, right? A smile goes a long way. So there you go, 5 seconds and you're done. You could write cheers or you don't even have to write anything. Just cheers the camera, smile. And honestly, I get so many hearts and likes and cheers back from these types of stories. It's just showing up and saying, hey, I'm here, right? I'm acknowledging you. Take it easy, that's all it says. It's better than nothing and it takes zero creativity. I literally, in my busiest seasons, I do that probably 5 out of 7 days a week, right? Easiest thing ever. So showing up in any way is better than not showing up at all. Do not overthink it. Do not overanalyze. Just get out there. And honestly, remind yourself that people care more about themselves and what people think about themselves than they're thinking about you. So how do you build your brand perception on IG, on Instagram? Occasionally, I recommend putting a little text box on your stories that invites questions about your product, right? You're looking for those frequently asked questions. At first, no one will ask you anything. Don't be surprised. No one's going to put anything in the box. Do not feel bad. Even sometimes when I had like 5 to 10,000 followers, no one would put anything in the box. That is totally fine because you will still accomplish the purpose of this. The whole purpose is to create the illusion that there is interest in your products. So this is simply part of the sprinting strategy. Fake it till you make it, right? So the whole purpose of putting that out, little text box saying, hey, any questions about our business or our products, drop them here. Okay, no one's going to put anything. You're putting it out there knowing that no one's going to write anything, right? And that's good. That's totally fine. The whole purpose was to put it out there so that we can do this next step. Now you are going to make some stories talking about your frequently asked questions. Now it's going to be one frequently asked question per story, and you're just going to sprinkle these in once in a while, and you're going to save them to a stories highlight that is titled frequently asked questions. So examples would be, hey guys, a lot of people have been asking me how to wash these hats. Here is exactly how to wash it. You're going to put it in cold water. You give the how to. Hey guys, a lot of people are asking what the sizing is like. So I want to show you the shirt on me. I'm 5'9". I normally wear size 2, 4. And this is how the fit is. This is a size medium. I could go up to a large and be a little longer, but just talk like that, okay? You're going to ask frequently asked questions. You're going to say, yeah, a lot of people have been asking about this color. What if it's more pink or if it's more orange? So I want to show you this in different lighting. Here is my, cup in natural sunlight. Now we're moving into the shade. And here you can see it looks a little less warm or, little, not as bright or something. What size looks best on front of a door, above a crib, above a queen bed, king bed? Let's say you make signs, home decor signs, right? You could say, hey guys, a lot of people have been asking me what size sign they should get for their nursery. So I want to show you a couple sizes. And then you just set up your camera, put it on a shelf, lean it against your coffee mug or something, and go and hold up the sign above a crib or a bed or a couch or something on a door. And say, this is, our small sign, it's 10 inches wide. Here's our large sign, it's 24 inches wide. Here's the difference. Okay, so all you need to do here is think of questions that you would have in your mind if you were your own customer. So this is the frequently asked questions thing, but you're coming up with the questions yourself, what you think would be frequently asked, and you're saving them to a highlight. And it's totally, all brands do this. Okay, everyone does this. This is really going to help the perception of your shop. Now, how do you build relationships on Instagram with your customers or with prospective customers? So during the sprint, this is the sprinting phase. Anytime you get a new follower, you're going to send a message, such as, it's going to be the same message, by the way, you're just going to change the name. So, hi, Sarah, or hi, whatever their name is. Or if you can't tell what their name is, just say, hi, thanks for the follow. I love connecting with my customers here on Instagram, so your support means a lot. If you ever have questions about anything in my shop, please reach out. And P.S. I'm expanding my product line, so if you ever have a custom request for something, I'd love to see if I can do that for you. Boom. You guys, this totally works. It really works. You guys, the big guys are not doing this. The big shops are not doing this. This is where you shine. This is where you hustle and get to that $100,000. This is how you ensure that you are creating products that people actually want. Okay, I know it feels weird to do this, but this is so key in scaling. This is so key in scaling. So it's free market research, and you're going to it ensures that you expand your product line into things people want. Really, you got to be doing this. Now, you need to also follow back all the people that follow you, and you need to pay attention to the people who are watching your stories. So when you click on your stories, at least let a few hours go by so there's a chance for people to see it. I like to look at this at the end of the day. But if you are a small account, the people that are paying attention to your stories and are watching your stories, this means that they are really, really watching you. They are very interested in what you're doing. It is a huge sign that they might become a customer. So when you see them watching your stories, keep an eye on who they are. Like their posts when you see them post things, because remember, likes are free. Liking things keeps you top of mind. So throw around those likes like confetti, and you will see the support return to you. So if you are a small shop, you need to be following back everyone who's following you. You need to be liking all their stuff, and you need to be messaging them every time you get a new follower with that message from the previous slide. And the reason you're going to do this is because your competition is most likely not willing to do this. And in order to grow and to become big, to become multi-six figures really fast, you need to do what other people are not willing to do. The next thing I'm going to talk about is sharing customer photos. So if a customer sends you a photo of your item being used for something in their life or on display, then always ask if you can share it. If it's not a super great photo, then share it in your stories. Still worth sharing, to be honest. But if it's a high quality photo, put it in your feed and then reshare it to your stories and save it to a highlight. Because stories, those photos don't last forever unless you save them to a highlight. So the lower quality photos can go in there, but your high quality photos, put those in your feed. So when you do this, the whole reason why you're doing this is because you are going to notice an increase in your customers sharing their photos with you when you start to share publicly other people's photos. So save those stories, save to the stories highlight that you titled customer photos, and you guys, you're going to see a huge increase in people sharing photos with you. How to do the how-to order guide as Instagram content that you're going to save to your stories highlight. So do a screen recording on your phone. Trim this down. Don't focus on perfection, getting the timing just perfect. You can literally move the start up, move the end up, like kind of crop the video or edit the video down. So just start on your shop homepage. So go to your shop homepage and then start the screen recording. You are going to click on a product. Once it's recording, click on any product on your shop homepage, ideally your top seller or what you plan to be your top seller. Then you're going to scroll down and you're going to click on the description so that customers can see how to read and see the rest of your description. And then you're going to scroll up to the top of the listing page and you are going to select any variations that they would need to select before they order. You're going to type into the personalization text box if you have one, and then you're going to click add to cart. You guys, this is so simple, but so helpful to customers. So you're going to save the stories. You're going to save it to the stories highlight that you titled how to order. So now I'm going to talk about TikTok. Okay, TikTok, should you do it? Is it worth it? What is going on there? Is it for me? Who is over there? Is my customer even there? So ultimately, Instagram is going to be where you're cultivating your long-term customer customers. So we really want to focus there first. This is the brand building place, the customer relationship management spot, right? In the sprint, I want you to repurpose your reels from Instagram and add them to your TikTok with the same tags and caption. So you're literally going to copy and paste the caption with the tags in it. Because remember, your tags need to be within the caption, not within a comment. So TikTok is going to be really great for videos that are showing behind the scenes of small businesses. But TikTok is also really unpredictable. So things pop off and you have no idea why it did so well, but it just did. So you just have to, it's hard to predict. It really is worth it as long as it doesn't dilute the efforts that you have in nurturing your customers on Instagram. So that is why my recommendation during the sprint is just to repurpose your reels. You just save the reel to your camera or your phone, save it to your phone and upload it to TikTok. And this is after you post the reel, you can save it to your phone and then upload it to TikTok. Same caption. Don't put any extra effort into this during the sprinting phase. We want to prioritize Instagram for sure. But TikTok can be really successful. You see a lot of small businesses blow up on TikTok. That behind the scenes really is successful over there, but it's not the best for managing customer relationships. Instagram is really good because it has the DMs and it has, places where you can post sneak peeks, and it's just a lot more customer friendly for building that loyalty. TikTok is a different beast, but still repurpose your reels, share them to TikTok if you can. I would make exclusive content for TikTok unless you already have a strong following over there.